Hey, folks, my guest today is Amir Ashkenazi. He's the founder and CEO of Switchboard, his first remote only company, and he's never going back. He says he's a six-time entrepreneur that pioneered comparison shopping, shopping.com, IPO, which is then acquired by eBay, programmatic advertising, that was Adapt.tv, which was acquired by AOL, and AI assistance for meetings. This is Toki, which was acquired by LogMeIn. Amir, you ready to take us to the top?
Ready to go. Let's go.
All right. All right. So you've had some success here. Just to be clear, those three companies I just mentioned, you founded all those, correct?
Yep. Yep.
So look, I'm just going to say this bluntly. You're like a super rich guy. You can do anything you want. Why get into remote cloud co-working?
I insist on doing what I love. And what I love is building products that are absolutely innovative that you don't have right now and that you really need.
So how would you describe this? It's sort of a blend between what and what?
Yeah, so Switchboard is a cloud co-working space. It's the next generation collaboration platform. It really allows people to do things together as if they were sitting side by side. When you think about the way we collaborate right now, mostly through video conferencing, it's not very collaborative. Like we can see and hear each other, maybe show a screen, but when we actually want to do things together, that seems to fall short.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what's interesting is we just had Zeb Evans on, we had Eric Wan on before Zoom IPO'd. So we've talked to a bunch of folks and Zoom just released a whiteboard and ClickUp's trying to do this. And everyone sort of has their own version of this. And I just look at all of them and I go, who's going to win this space? Is it really going to be a technical breakthrough or it's going to be who dominates distribution or something else? What's your take?
So let's focus for a second on the technical breakthrough. So what we did is we developed cloud browsers. Those are essential elements that allow you to bring any tool that you already use, things like Google Docs and Figma and Trello and Jira, and they become immediately collaborative. Even the regular website become immediately collaborative in this Switchboard workspace. And what it opens is a canvas that is completely interactive, where all participants can engage with the content and not just stare at faces. So we think technology is important, but I absolutely agree with you. It's just a starting point.
So tell me, you have to forgive my naivete here. What makes this a hard technical challenge? Why can you solve it and no one else can, or very few other people can?
Well, browsers were built as single player applications. They were basically built for one user to interact with the web. They were not built as collaborative applications. And basically what we did is turn them to exactly that. So they run in the cloud. You don't need to share your screen. They keep memory of your room. So when you open a room in Switchboard, it starts exactly where you left it last time. You don't have to prepare for it. You don't need to summarize it because it's all in the room. The difficult part is mainly around security, scalability, and the UX of how do you manage multiple applications within one browser tab. Switchboard does not require you to download anything or learn any new tools. Everything works in the browsers with the tools you already use.
Very interesting. Okay, so put this on a roadmap for us here. When did you write the first line of code for this platform?
So we really started 2 years ago. It's very funny. I'm a guitar player. Not very talented, but really enjoy that. So with my guitar lessons moved to online, it was really terrible. So you need tools like a metronome, you need notes, you need multiple videos. And all I got is the instructor's face. So that was the moment when I said, okay, we need something else here. So that one we started, it was May of 2020. Quickly in June, we started to write code for this. I think it took us 6 months to understand that this is actually not for guitar lessons, but this is the core problem that every remote and hybrid team is facing.
Oh, what's going on there, YouTube? Good to see you guys. Now imagine this. You love watching these interviews with SaaS founders, but imagine if we took all of the valuation data out from over 2,807 interviews I've done manually. Saves you a lot of time. Well, we've done this. We've built it into the beautiful interface inside of FounderPath. Check this out. I'll show you how you can access this in a second, but you log in, you connect your Stripe account, you see your valuation real time, you can see what it changed over the past 88 days, and even set goals for valuation this year. Now, the secret to valuation is there's many different ways to value a SaaS business. So the reason you're going to see 3 or 4 different valuations inside of your FounderPath dashboard, this is all free by the way, is because depending on who's doing the buying of your SaaS company, you're going to get a different valuation. A VC is going to pay a different valuation. Private equity firm is different. If you're going to do a minority sale, that's different. And if you sell the whole business, that's a different valuation. You can see all those when I hover over here. Right. So the teal is what a VC would pay. Yellow is what private equity. And red is if you sold the whole thing outright. Now, what's cool about this is not built off random data. Again, you guys hear these interviews on YouTube. All these data are built from real-time valuation data points founders share with us on the show. So traction, 1.2 million, seed round, 3.7 raise. They sold 22% of their business. Go in here and filter by the event. Maybe you only want to see companies that have sold the whole business. Well, here are a bunch that have been acquired, the valuation and the multiple. Maybe you're going out right now and you're raising your seed round. Well, go in here and look at all this recent seed deals that went down, what they raised, what valuation they raised at, and what percent that they sold. There's never been a larger data set of SaaS valuations than what you can get now inside of FounderPath, and we're thrilled to bring it to you. All right, we're going to go back to the YouTube video here in a second, but if you want to check this tool out, if you want to jump in and sign up, you can check it out for free to get your valuation at this link, founderpath.com/products/valuations. Or if you go to founderpath.com and hover over products, click on get your valuation here and go ahead and sign up to give it a whirl. Again, all that valuation data live right inside the platform. I hope to see you there. All right, let's jump back into the interview. And this makes a lot of sense. Now, were you scrappy at the beginning of this? Did you want to, a lot of second time, third time, fourth time founders that go, you know what? I hated working with a co-founder the first time. I'm going to own it all at the beginning, just pay everyone a lot of money. What route are you taking here? This is your fourth or fifth venture, actually your seventh, eighth venture.
Six. It's only six.
Okay.
Yeah. It's all about partnerships. It's all about getting people that will join your journey and that are excited about this and can contribute to it. So very quickly, we partnered with the right VCs to accelerate our path and with the right first employees to build this thing. I don't believe that you can do great things alone in a room closed. It's all about creating this human connection and inspire people to go in a direction and believe that this is the future.
But you're burying the punchline here, which is when my research team researched the company and prepped for this interview, you're the only one listed as the founder. So you were day one guy. There's no co-founder.
I am a single founder, but it's really I view my leadership team as absolutely essential for this, and they are partners to every decisions that we made along the way.
Who was your first partner in building this?
So who was my first partner? So my first partner is actually Daniel Portoyo. Daniel Portoyo was the head of talent in Greylock, and I knew him for many years. And every time I met him, he gave me, the right connections and contacts and introductions. And when I read that he's starting Sweat Equity Ventures, now it's called the General Partnership, I immediately called him, said, let's work on this together. And it was transformational. He quickly connected me with the right recruiters and advisors and so on. So we got it off the ground very quickly. It still took 2 full years of development in stealth mode to reach the point we're in right now.
So Amir, come on. I want to know how painful this was. If you had to quantify how much money you spent just on development before you shipped the beta and did the product hunt launch, can you quantify that? Are we talking like $1 million, $2 million, $5 million to build it?
About 8.
Oh my gosh, 8 million. Interesting. I would have never guessed that much. So what am I missing? What makes it so expensive?
What you're missing is that from a technical perspective, this is a really difficult problem to solve. And I'll give you an example. So in 2 years, we already have 5 granted patents for the work that we do on cloud.
Wow.
Projects. It never happened to me. It usually takes 5-6 years. And the reason is that this is really difficult and really no one has done it to the level that we're doing it before. So yes, it took a lot of work and some money too.
5 patents. Have you defended any of those patents?
Yeah, all of those are granted and there are more in the pipeline.
Have you had to defend any of them or have you protected any of those?
I mean, not yet. It's
okay, not yet.
No one is doing what we do right now. So probably in the future.
Very interesting. Okay. And it's interesting. You mentioned Daniel. Now he was at Greylock. Now, did you already generate a big return from Greylock from one of your prior companies?
No, Greylock never had any investment or interest in any of my past companies. It was just pure friendship.
With Daniel. Yeah. Interesting. So is he full-time at the business? Well, he's not full-time because he's running the general partnership, right?
He's a partner at the general partnership.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I meant to ask was, who was your first-time partner in terms of, full-time employee?
Yeah. So I obviously called some of the people that I knew and worked closely in the past with, or not just name one, because everybody's contribution is so important here. But what I can tell you is that by adopting 100% remote work structure, it really opened a world of opportunity for us. A lot of flexibility and freedom to hire the right people, regardless of where they are. So that is really one of the keys. If you look at the structure of the team, it's a very impressive team. And the key to it is really the flexibility, the freedom to hire from anywhere.
Mm-hmm. How many are on the team full-time today?
So we're 22 people right now.
22. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I guess the reason I'm asking these questions is I'm curious from a guy like you that's done it 6 times, what your order of operations are, right? Who was the batch of first 5 and the batch of the second, 10 and then 20?
It actually starts with before people join, with just validating the idea. So what I would do very quickly with my very limited product design skills, I will try to patch something that looks as real as possible, and I will try it on potential customers. So the first thing was to do that and take it to my guitar instructor and say, would you use something like this? Yeah, we absolutely need it. Along the way, we found that there are many more that are interested in this. So we developed, obviously, it's mainly for companies and not guitar instructors, but this is how it started.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you were recruiting though top tier talent, right? Chris Jones, he had time at Databricks. He had, as an advisor to companies that we know very well, Little Bear Labs, Dynaboard, others. You sort of it looks like you sort of lull him in an advisor role. And then before you know it, he's joining full time. Is this like the Amir playbook? Should we all copy this?
Yeah. So absolutely, you should copy, always partner with the best people you can find. And what I found is that the best people are really not looking for just compensation. Of course, you have to be competitive on compensation, but it's really about the journey and about the mission. They get excited about this. And the best thing as a startup CEO that you can give these people is a front seat in this journey. Just completely expose them to everything that is happening. Don't shield them, not from the bad days and not from the good days. Just have them as complete partners to the journey.
That's a super interesting take. Okay. Now, just to be clear, again, pre-revenue today, right? Still building out the beta program.
That is correct.
What are you learning? I mean, imagine a guy like you're doing a beta so you can accelerate your learning velocity. So how many are in the beta today and what are you watching for?
Yeah, this is exactly the goal, is to accelerate your learning velocity. It's the most important thing when you run a startup is learning quickly and adapting the product based on what you see. So the first thing that you learn is like, who is it? Who are the personas? Who is even your target customers? And whatever you think, you'll always learn something new. So for example, we knew that this is great for startup CEOs. We knew that this is great for design and product managers, but we did not anticipate how many people from higher education are actually going to use that. So this is one thing that we've learned. It's very important to stay very close to the users that are using it. Another thing that you learn is about the retention and the virality and usage patterns of the product. And for a product like ours, obviously the virality is critical. The main thing that people do, the first thing that people do on the product is inviting other people. You want to encourage it. Our marketing is based on that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I want to go deep here for a second. What tools are you using to measure when key retention, like activation, usage things are hit in the app in the first sort of 7 days? Do you use like Pendo or something else? Break down that tech stack for me.
Yeah, so obviously we monitor everything and we use Snowflake and Amplitude and Datadog as like the main tool to monitor everything that is going on the platform. The key is not so much to collect the data, but actually to spend the time analyzing the data and gain real insights from it.
Mm-hmm. And what are you seeing right now? I mean, have you been able to nail down so a viral coefficient, one user turns into, 3 within 8 days, or what is it for you?
Yeah, we see it already and the numbers look great. Those are early signs. So I don't want to share, but those are very encouraging signs of usage, retention, and virality. And as you can tell by my smile that your audience cannot see, is that we're super excited about what we build. And
no, they can see it. It's audio and video. They'll be able to see it.
know that. Okay, you should have worked on my background too.
No, it's a great background. It's a great background. Okay, last question here before we wrap up. I wouldn't expect a first-time entrepreneur to be able to go out and do what you did, which is launch a beta pre-revenue and raise $13.8 million, right? So there's something to be said for sort of Amir's life as a founder, right? When you look back at just his history over the past 10, 20, 30 years, what were some of the early things you did in sort of your startup sort of life that you think worked really well now 10, 20 years later?
So I think it's absolutely critical to raise money from external investors, even if you can fund it or you think that you can fund it. Your ability to raise money is the number one thing that will determine your future success. Mm-hmm. And I use every round as a way to validate our assumptions and to check the strategy. And if you cannot raise money, then you need to go back to the whiteboard and ask yourself why before investing more of your personal money on this. So this is something that guides me along the way. Those are the VCs are not only funding the company; they're important partners to building it.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything, a lot of second-time, third-time founders will tell me, Nathan, I wish I just sold my first company faster to get an exit under my belt to just learn, even though didn't get the best price possible. Are there any lessons like that you wish you did earlier on, or no?
No, look, in total, I sold 3 companies, and in general, I regret not holding each one of them a bit longer. We had shopping.com that was a pioneer in e-commerce, pioneered comparison shopping.
What did eBay pay for that in 2006?
$630-something million.
And how much had you guys raised?
It was a little bit difficult to calculate because there was deal time that raised money, and then we acquired a company called Opinions and another company called Even Better. So I can do the math, but
I see. And what about Adapt? Did you bootstrap that one or no?
No, Adapt TV also raised money. I think in total we raised $48 million, and that was acquired by AOL for about $400 and something million.
Sounds like unless it's a 3,000 year earnout for 99% of the deal, it sounds like a pretty good exit. And then fast forward to Toki-Roki. Did you bootstrap that one or no?
That one, we had in the first in one day, we had a term sheet from a VC and a proposal to buy the company. So the plan was to get VC money, but we got acquired so quickly that we didn't have enough.
I was going to say that was a 9 months. Your other twos were 5, 6, 7 years. That one was 9 months. So interesting story. All right. Can you share? Are you open to sharing how many folks are in the beta today, or are you keeping that private?
We're obviously keeping that private. You know that.
I don't know. We get a lot of people share beta numbers. We get a lot of people share that. I guess what will make you come out of beta? Are you trying to hit 1 million users, or what's the thing?
No, we focus on love, on users' love, on how many of those are frequent users, how many of those would recommend this to people they know. That's the focus for this year. And we are making fantastic progress towards that. We already have a community of really passionate users. We're looking to grow this a little bit before we get into monetization and scaling customer acquisition.
All right, Amir, let's wrap up here with the famous 5. Number 1, last book that you read.
Last book that I read, I'm really ashamed to admit it, but it's very tactical. It's called The Mom Test. It's how to do user interviews. It's very tactical, but it's very good. It will teach you how to get the truth from anyone you speak with about your product.
You said the monk, like priest, right?
The mom test. It's called the mom test.
Mom.
Mom, because even your mom will not be able to lie to you.
I love that. Okay, the mom test. Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
Oh, there's so many. The best CEO I've seen was actually my co-founder for shopping.com. His name is Nahum Sharfman. He's unfortunately not with us anymore, but he's still with me, and I think about him every day when I make decisions.
Number 3, what's your favorite online tool besides your own for building Switchboard?
Yeah, I really like Loom. 1, because the CEO is an investor in Switchboard, but 2, because it's a fantastic tool for asynchronous collaboration.
Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
I'm not a big sleeper. I think it's like, it's important to sleep well. I would say 6 to 7
Okay.
is probably my number. Yeah.
Fair. And what's your situation? I mean, you're married, single, kids?
Married, 3 kids.
Oh, wow. And how old are you?
I'm 51 and a half.
51 and a half. Very cool. Last question. Something you wish you knew pre-shopping.com days when you were 20.
Oh, so many things. In general, I think that we were fortunate to see the internet evolve in such a dramatic way. And we were excited about this in the beginning, but probably did not see 1% of the overall directions that the internet is going to take. So I wish I could have seen more, but I'm just grateful to be part of this journey and experiencing it firsthand.
Guys, switchboard.app. When you visit the website, you go, this looks very simple. And then you listen to this interview and go, oh, he has 5 patents and spent $8 million on the MVP. There's something very special here. They're still in beta, tracking usage metrics. He calls them the love metrics, as we all do. We'll see what happens, though. Hopefully coming out of beta soon so more folks can use it. Successful 6-time entrepreneur, so he knows what he's doing, reading the mom test to do better user interviews. Amir, thanks for taking us to the top.
Thank you so much. It was a lot of fun.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers. They try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.